Mam nadzieję tylko, że jakoś super ciemno nie jest, w sensie, że mnie widać, żeby mnie widać. Nie chce mi się zasłaniać okno, jedno musiałam zasłaniać, bo po prostu byłam całkowicie niewidoczna. To po ostatniej akcji, że trochę mu dupę ukryłam, jak dobrze pamiętam. Exit.
What's with that getup of yours anyway? I should start introducing us as Detective Earl, and this is my science teacher, Mr. Phelps.
Jak będę tak dalej kryć kumpli, no to będzie to źle wyglądało.
We're a dysfunctional couple now. People judge me with you on my arm same way they would a fat broad with a 5 o'clock shadow.
I really hope you're joking, Roy.
The thing was, he was a real nice guy.
Choose exit. Dobra, to już ja poprowadzę.
Seem distracted. We recovered the morphine. Some of it might be unaccounted for, so what? That's life. We did our job.
Closing one case opens another.
Do you have any idea what is really going on while we're wasting our time following this stuff?
Are you going to tell me?
The deals being done right now will change the face of L.A. forever, and we're wasting...
Oops.
Son of a bitch!
Zabiłam kolegów po fachu.
Someone's little girl.
Visit the morgue at the end of the month when the John and Jane Does are cremated. Their percentages. The odds for and against lightning striking.
Any Central Unit of 484 just occurred, 3155 West 4th Street. Unit to handle code 3, identify.
I od razu jakaś akcja na boku. Zarąbiście. Padałoby właśnie włączyć syreny, tak mi się przynajmniej zdaje. Nie! Gdzie to kutwa jest? Gracz. Łocie w dupę. O, na pewno nie. Ni chuja. Pierdolcie się. O, jakie ładne parkowanie. Mam jechać kuźwa pół miasta, żeby kogoś tam zabić. A idźcie wy fuj. Spadaj. Jej, dotarliśmy. Zobacz, jaka dzida do mnie napisała. Raz wszyscy sraczkę mają na The Division. Ja również.
Thanks.
Zamówioną mam edycję kolekcjonerską. Co on powiedział? Pierwsze piętro pod szóstką na końcu korytarza. Dobrze. O. Nawet drzwi otwarte.
Bukowski, you made homicide.
That I did. Good to see you, Phelps.
You two want a hug?
O.
Or can we get on with this? Relax, Rusty.
26 years old, fashion model. Found in the tub by the cleaning lady, Mrs. Reynoldson. She called it in.
We heard Carruthers thinks...
Carruthers likes to make work for people. Overdose of sleeping pills, falls asleep in the tub, rest in peace, case closed.
Here, here. Mal is 100% that it's murder.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure. Go right ahead. Phelps?
Mal, we've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would have entered her lungs. The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that a lot of foam is generated. This foam is found at the mouth and nostrils in almost all cases of real drowning. Notice anything about our Vic?
May I take a look?
Be my guest. Take a closer look at her head and neck.
Bruising on the forearms, and these look like bite marks.
No właśnie.
Very good.
Jakby ktoś ją pogryzł. Neck.
Her neck is bruised pretty badly.
Podejrzewam, że została po prostu uduszona i wrzucona do wanny w celu...
A very unusual ring.
I could be wrong, but it looks like a black sapphire. The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
And spread a trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the syrettes. It would make my theory.
And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something.
This is her in these photos?
O Boże!
She's something else.
Yes. Miss Julie was...
Pretty girl like that? Maybe she was having trouble with some boys, huh? Maybe she got her heart broken. Couldn't take it anymore.
Aż normalnie wyłączę dźwięk. Mam się rozejrzeć dalej, w reszcie domu. Ładna garsonka.
Quality English smoking jacket. I don't know anyone under 45 who would wear one.
There, there.
Nikt nie będzie mi przeszkadzał. Jak się nie mylę, to jest dość chyba droga firma. Tutaj chyba nic nie ma. O, tabletki.
Looks like barbiturates.
Spieprzaj stąd. O.
Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing?
Czekaj, ale coś tam grzechocze. O, mamy. Jedna kapsułka dziennie.
We should speak to her doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster.
Sprytna skrytka, naprawdę sprytna. Kurna, jakie aparaty, jeszcze wtedy był taki wielgachny. No weź się przesuń, żeś człowiek, no.
Help me out.
Once you've checked the bathroom, Cole, you better take a look around.
This is all top end of town stuff. Gives us somewhere to look.
Tu nic nie ma. Zobaczę następne.
There's been a modeling assignment.
Julia.
It's a place to start.
Zobaczę jeszcze to trzecie.
Beautiful girl. Clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog.
Na pewno nie. I tu nic. Tylko w tej środkowej coś tam było. Na razie nie chcę z nią gadać. Jeszcze może przejrzę łazienkę dokładniej. Ta. Chochla na pewno nam dużo powie. O, ja pierdolę, jakie żelazko.
Nothing significant.
Moja prababcia jeszcze takie miała żelazko. No weź.
I don't think so.
Nic istotnego, chyba zostaje mi tylko porozmawiać z tamtą kobietą.
I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try and help Julia. Do you mind answering some questions?
Virginia Reynoldson, I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
We can make those calls, ma'am. Who needs to be notified?
That's just it.
Kawka jest dobra.
Miss Julie doesn't have any family in town. Someone has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there?
Kim jest pan Henderson?
If you give the details to the other detectives, ma'am, they can try and get in contact. Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
What are you hiding here, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julia was obviously disturbed about something.
I have no idea what you're talking about. If you were any kind of a detective, you would be trying to blame all this on Miss Julia.
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Men friends.
Kurde!
Spill it.
I will not spread gossip about Miss Julia. She was very nice to me.
I don't care if she was the Virgin Mary sister. Who was she humping? You changed the sheets.
You're disgusting. If you're going to take that tone, I won't answer any more questions.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
Przecież widzę, że kłamie, to jak zakwestionuje, to dlaczego nie mówi nic?
Mrs. Reynoldson, it seems like there's something you want to tell me.
She was very high-strung. Lovely one moment and screaming at you the next. She wanted it all, and she wanted it damn quick. Of course, being so beautiful, it seemed like she was going to get it. Not the way it's turned out, though, is it?
I know you're trying to protect Julia, Mrs. Reynoldson, but it won't help us solve the case. Julia can't be hurt anymore.
Niedobrze. Niedobrze.
Any ideas?
You want to go digging around in drains trying to support Mal?
Stefan, Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
You think Carruthers has called it right?
He rarely gets it wrong.
I don't know. I'm with Galloway. I've met enough girls in my time who can't handle their dope.
Come on, lazy boy.
You know the way. You can drive.
You know the way, you can drive. Pozwalam ci prowadzić twój własny samochód. Jak ty chodzisz, baranie?
Bukowski, Galloway, quite the little reunion in there. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
They're good police.
How would you know? You got promoted so fast you barely had time to learn their names. Let me fill you in. Bukowski's a pushover. Galloway's a drunk.
You could learn a thing or two from both of them.
Please. They couldn't work a vice case if their life depended on it.
I don't see why they'd be any better or worse at it than me.
I noticed you said better. Hubris disguised as humility. Kind of your trademark, don't you think?
Why do you always twist everything? Galloway's got nothing to prove. He's been on homicide for years.
And he's welcome to it. You're a terrier, Phelps, and that's what I need. Not some old bulldog who can't get up a flight of stairs without coughing up his lunch.
Gdzie ja mam iść? A tu.
Here, Stoneman, office 505.
5th floor. Winda.
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be able to work half days.
Zazwyczaj szybko jeżdżą te windy w L.A.Noire. Naprawdę szybko.
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after they've left.
Your investigation is much more important.
Dr. Stoneman, we are investigating the death of one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, Detective.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
She was disturbed, though.
Well, not in the conventional sense. She had trouble sleeping.
You wrote Julia Randall a prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion business. She wanted to control her weight.
Benzedrine is addictive, as I'm sure you know, Doctor.
As I warned her, but she was determined. She said she needed it to control her appetite.
Sounds like you knew her pretty well.
I knew the line of work she was involved in.
That'll be all for now, Dr. Stoneman. We'll be in touch.
Ciężko, kurna, było go wyczytać, bo on robi takie minimalne ruchy oczami, gdzie na przykład inne osoby kręcą oczyma swoimi dookoła całej galaktyki, to on tak dosłownie, tak minimalnie. Pierwsza moja reakcja była zła. Niedobrze. Ale lepiej jedna niż żadna, tak jak w poprzedniej. Jaki kubas mam? Jeszcze Christmasowy. Where do you go now?
About what?
I don't know. He looked relieved when you said she was dead. It's a strange reaction to have to the death of a young patient.
No jakoś... to jest prawda. Ten koleś... Nawet nie wiem jak on się nazywa. Dobrą reakcję miał. Kłamie lekarz, ale nie wie w jakiej kwestii. Natomiast... O Jezu, rusz się, gnido. Natomiast jakoś tak... niespecjalnie się przejął śmiercią pacjentki.
Until it gets in the way of police work. And it's only private when it suits them. A couple of drinks and every doctor I've met will spill your darkest secrets in a heartbeat.
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
LAPD, ma'am.
I hope I haven't done anything wrong.
No, ma'am. We're making some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to let her go. Is she in some sort of trouble?
She was found dead this morning.
Oh.
How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
Could you tell us why you let Miss Randall go?
Husbands sometimes come in here with their wives. When Julia Randall modeled, the husbands were often more interested in her than they were their wives' dresses. The wives weren't happy, and neither was I.
Did she have any close friends here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please don't inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer. Heather, these gentlemen are from the LAPD.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
Yes. Julia helped me get my job here. She's not in any kind of trouble, is she?
She's a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, a wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to me.
I'm very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look? That's some pearl, Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a fortune. He must really love you. How did you meet Julia?
I was introduced through my fiancé, Henry Arnett.
Henry is your beau.
Prawda.
Yes, he is. Henry has a fashion business.
Coś mi się wydaje, że ten sam facet poprosił o rękę naszej denatki.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
No nie wiem, kto to jest.
She was wearing a sapphire engagement ring. Someone must have given it to her.
She never mentioned a man named Henderson to me.
That's all for now, Miss Swanson. Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station? It would be very helpful to our inquiry.
Now, wait a moment. I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
No niestety, coś, tak jak mówiłam, coś mi się wydaje, że ten narzeczony tej dziewczyny i naszej denatki to są ci dwaj tacy sami faceci. Że to jest po prostu jedna osoba, tak mi się przynajmniej wydaje. Mam nadzieję, że się nie mylę.
Messages, please.
Yes, Detective. The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
Please, thank you. Al?
Cole, can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Sure thing, Mal. We'll be right over.
Jezu, co nie mogłeś mi powiedzieć przez telefon? Earl, będziesz prowadził. Czegoś nie znalazłam w mieszkaniu tej dziewczyny.
You can drive.
Nice move not telling old Sweet Lips in there about her friend taking the big jump till we were half out the door. Very slick.
I figured we'd get more out of her that way.
You're learning, Phelps. We'll make a vice cop out of you yet.
Przepraszam.
Has that just been paid look about him? Keep talking. Someday you'll say something
Cole,
intelligent.
Roy, I have some information for you.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Yes, of course.
I have something else to show you.
All right, Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 cigarettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. We're listening, Mal.
No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head remodeled.
Time of death, Mal.
Maybe an hour or 2 after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else.
A to ciekawe.
I swear, this town is going straight to hell.
Wnętrzności. O. Żałuję, że to widziałam.
Contrary to what your partner thinks, I think the LeBlanc angle has wheels. You need to follow it up.
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty. The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine. Carruthers. Yeah, he's here. I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Sure, Mal. Thanks for the lead.
Ten Earl jest taki trochę takim hamem.
Canary says he'll sing, but only if I guarantee he walks.
Oh, Susie, you are
Arnett is in
so
interview
bad.
too, Phelps. Go help him get whatever it is off his chest.
He plays the saxophone. Oh, and boy,
Mr. Arnett,
get me
I'm
going.
Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. Thanks for coming in.
Call me Henry. It's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julia.
Zapytajmy pana.
How well did you know Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled for me.
And you were
Kurde.
close?
We were friends.
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
Spill it, Henry. You know nothing about a man named Henderson?
Yes, you're right. Henderson, yeah. Very distinguished.
How about a first name, wise guy? An address, maybe?
I'm sorry, I don't. I think he lives somewhere out of town. Somewhere back east.
Were you at home last Saturday?
Dwie odpowiedzi mam.
No. Should I have? Is he an entertainer or something?
What the hell is the LAPD up to these days?
So you wouldn't have any reason to believe that LeBlanc would be involved in Julie Randall's murder?
If this guy is a criminal, he might have been involved. But like I said, I've never heard of this LeBlanc character.
Heather told us that you were in fashion.
That's right.
The thing was, he was a really nice guy, and I felt lousy tolerating him.
Dyrektor.
How long is this gonna take? Afraid not.
Some kind of traveling salesman?
Once I got out of the Corps, I used my...
You were in the Marines?
Sure. I'm proud of it. The Fighting Sixth.
You were in the 6th Marines?
Yes. I was a captain.
Which company?
Various companies. We had a lot of casualties.
Which engagements?
Okinawa. A couple of other places.
That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl. Can you pass this on to Bukowski? Have him check the place out and go through his records.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
Miałam złe dwie odpowiedzi. Lipa.
He was squirming like a worm in there. Don't you love it when they pull the war hero excuse? Actually, maybe you don't.
You got a pretty funny...
I'd have expected a cad like Arnett to be a better liar.
Co za muzyczka, to, że nie wiem, że nabrał podejrzeń, jak on jest parę kilometrów dalej ode mnie.
Where are you taking us, Henry?
Spadaj.
That idiot never stepped foot in Okinawa.
Akurat jeżeli chodzi o te wojsko, to wyczułam, że po prostu kogoś tak ściemnia, że to głowa mała. Okej, tu się zatrzymał. Gdzie nas zaprowadzisz, kolego?
He needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll stick with him, see how he intends to spend the money. Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
Myślę, że taka odległość pomiędzy mną a nim będzie dobra. Wtedy nie będę musiała nawet używać trybu incognito. Shit. No cóż.
Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
Kurczę, nie mogę podejść do niego bliżej, bo koleś mnie wyluka.
much slack. Gotta get closer.
Biuro podróży? Czyżby nasz pan Henry gdzieś się wybierał?
That's right, Mexico City. One-way ticket, please. Next available seat.
That would be 1 day from now. Is that okay?
It's going to have to be.
LAPD, the man who just came in here, he bought a ticket?
Yes, sir, to Mexico City, tomorrow night.
If you hear from him again, don't mention this conversation.
What have you got?
He bought a ticket from Mexico City. Tomorrow night.
That's good, but this is better.
Oh my God, it's Fabergé.
Should have seen the look on the pawnbroker's face when I told him to hand it over.
The guy who owned the joint thought it was worth at least 10 large for a cigarette case. Arnett only got 600 clams.
O nie, telefon.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Are there any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. Detectives Bukowski and Galloway request you return to the Hollywood station. They have information in the Julia Randall case.
Any luck with the arrest record check on Jimmy LeBlanc?
Yes, Detective. Jimmy LeBlanc's last arresting officer was Patrolman Fred Wallace. He's posted to the Hollywood 9th Beat Sunset Boulevard between Gordon and Wilcox.
Thanks.
Dobra.